Well, this is it. Don't want to keep Father waiting, right? Right. All right, little one. You do feel well enough to walk now, don't you? All right. Come on. It's colder in the main hall. You'd best keep my coat. Okay? My dove, could you hold back for a moment? Look, I know I only seem to ask things of you, and I know I shouldn't. There is one last request that I have of you. Please just stay back. No matter what happens, no matter what you see, just stay back. This is going to be difficult. Maybe even impossible. To think that this is how we would end up. All the cracks forming around me as my world falls apart. And yet, there you stand, just as I remember you. Oh, how I wish that I could start again. Find some way of making things work out. I cannot say what will happen next. But trust me, I will do whatever I must to make sure you can walk away from this, to right my wrongs. So, can you promise me? I just need to hear you say it. No matter what your feelings are towards me, I need to hear it. Please. Please. Thank you. Well, if this is to be my last dance in these halls, best to put on a good show. Something fitting for the true lord of this place. False or no. Come on. Fate awaits. Oh, it has been so long. I hardly recognize the place. Certainly have been a few changes while I was away. Making the place your own. A little lifeless for my tastes, but I'm sure we can solve that. Much better. And here I'd hoped you'd keep things more lavish in my absence. You are supposed to be my most trusted representative here, aren't you? Looking after things as I would. What? No reception, no displays, not even a servant to take my coat. And I thought you were brought up better, to respect your elders. How disappointing. was enjoying such a lovely time with a new acquisition before you called, and I don't want to keep them waiting. Oh, of course. My apologies, Father. I thought it best we keep things personal. Allow me to welcome you back. Ah, you always were my favorite son. You're right. The others of your kind would likely only spoil my good mood further. Oh, wait. And Dorian is here too. Such a nice surprise. Good to see you appear to have calmed down since our last heart-to-heart. Perhaps Silas has done a good job of keeping that wilder side of yours in check, after all. Not entirely. Silas, I suggest we move things along, lest we bring up any further bad memories. Oh, come now. Here I was expecting celebration to see us reunited after so long. It's almost nostalgic. Yes, nostalgic. My, how long has it been? A few centuries? More? But it appears you have invited someone else to our reunion. And this one must be the one I've heard so much about. Made quite a show in front of the others, flaunting this one around, didn't you? What? You thought simply holding them here in the shadows would keep them from my gaze? I would ask that you leave them out of this. Your business is with us, remember? Is it now? Well, if you're so quick to skip a few simple pleasantries and insult me by not introducing us, then allow me. I'm afraid my sons must have lost their manners in my absence. I do hope they haven't bothered you too much. Allow me to introduce myself. I go by many names. Father, Master, but for you, you may call me Lord. Charmed. What have they told you about me? Not a bad example for a mortal. Some definitely pleasing traits. And just the slightest hint of something more. Oh, and quite a fiery one too. Perhaps that is why my boys have spent so much time fawning over you, unable to keep their hands away when they should be fulfilling their real obligations. I said, leave them out of this. I would advise you to hold your tongue before you suggest what I can and can't do in my manner. After all, your guests are my guests. Best we keep things civil. And besides, I haven't even touched them yet. What harm can my words do anyway? Then I suggest we settle this now. How very cryptic of you. I would expect these mind games and theatrics from Azel, but not from you. Why, yes, the one missing from our gathering. The problem child. How has he been, my little demon protégé? How has he been? Is this such a joke to you? I see just how much of that cruelty really did pass down from you now. I know exactly what you told him. Did I now? Ah, of course. Must have slipped my mind. You do have to excuse this memory of mine. The millennia can have that effect on smaller things. Oh, I must have told him something like, bring you back into line. I really don't know what's worse. That you thought that I cared enough about who you flirt around with here, or that you believed him. I suppose it doesn't matter either way. I shall be dealing with his schemes in due time. But I can see from that gritted expression that our reunion is approaching its end. Now, are you going to tell me why you have wasted my time bringing me back to this tiresome realm? Or was it solely to anger me further? You know, you're absolutely right. How foolish of me to think you cared about us. Our great and powerful father bothered about our lives. I have a proposition for you. The reason I summoned you. I wish to end our agreement. Oh, you do? My, what an interesting offer. Did I truly waste all those years of study on you for this display? You see, that arrangement was non-negotiable. You should understand this better than anyone else, my boy. What would you give me to end this pact? All you have is mine. The city is mine. This world is mine. If I wished it, what could you offer me? I do understand, and I know your power. Do not mistake my request as a foolish one. That is why I offer you something you don't have. My soul, in exchange for their freedom. Dorian and my dove. No harm should come to them. Silas, what are you doing? Silas, hush now. Men are talking. Dorian, this is my decision. I'll not have you interfere on my choice. Even if it is the last one I'm free to make. I see. An actual vessel to reside within, when it takes my fancy, could be quite interesting. Dorian wouldn't be too much of a loss either. Oh yes. Well, I'm sorry. Silas, my son, you have greatly exaggerated your own worth, and I must decline. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Well, I suppose that concludes our business then. No. Now, Dorian, unlike your brother here, I am inclined to let you live. You may not have been as pliable as the others, but I feel like you still might have some use as a guard dog. Leave here on good terms, and I'm sure I can find someone to replace dear Silas here. Someone a bit more stable. Listen to me, little one. I hate to leave you alone here, but you're going to have to run now. It's been a good dream to see us together. But it was just a dream. Go. There's nothing left for you here now. Father, you forget. What good is a guardian if he couldn't even protect his own charge? You will pay for my brother. Go. Go. Shame. Such a shame. Come on now, back to your feet. There. Oh. Do you look upon their crumpled forms? What do you see? Go ahead. Look. Tell me. Are you sad for them? Would you shed a tear when no other would? After all, they wanted their freedom, and I most graciously provided it. This turn of events has been most interesting indeed. To plead for me for your sake, the sake of just another mortal. How strange. Come now, all is not lost. You still live, so you must know I find some interest in you. Let no one say that I am not generous. Such a pretty example. All the frailty of humanity I've come to know, and yet there is something here, deep down within you, something that changed them. You are the one difference, that one factor that changed. You know, one would expect that a mortal would live in fear of these monsters you've come to know. And yet, deep down, you found it thrilling, didn't you? You enjoyed it. In the same way that they took an interest in you, you found an interest in them, their world, their lives. This realm has always fascinated me, filled with such life and power. And yet it's only really good for one thing. It's uncertainty. No matter the influences, no matter how hard you try and control it, something always turns out different. And you, my dear, are that difference. I find myself being quite amused with you. So perhaps I can be reasoned with, You know, They aren't dead. Not really. I can bring them back. Well, one of them. So I say, let's put that uncertainty to a test, shall we? With the flip of a coin. Don't look so surprised. Even a being like myself can find pleasures in the simple things. Heads or tails. Choose correctly, and you can live your happy ever after with your choice. Or you can run. I cannot. But choose incorrectly, and I shall be taking your soul too. Well, what do you say? So sorry. I made it sound like you had a choice. I mean, I could just end you here and now for all this trouble, if you'd prefer. A wise decision. Well, let's find out if that difference falls in your favor. Oh well. I guess luck wasn't on your side. Pity. It might have been interesting seeing who you chose. Well, I'm afraid my time here grows short. Places to be. And of course, I'll need to work on restaffing this place. So, you'll be coming with me, won't you? Now, we made a deal, an agreement. Come along now. No, they won't. My, so interesting. So very, very interesting. To think you would try this. Very well. If you are so eager to stay in this world, then perhaps I'll let you. Just this once. Maybe it's time to take a break. Sit this one out. Do give my regards to Azel, Silas. I'm sure you'll be seeing him quite soon. It worked. It worked. Plan B wasn't what I had in mind. Remember that draft? It will relax you, but at just the right strength. It does look terribly convincing. Don't, please. I'll be fine. Oh, Dorian, why did you have to be so stubborn? It was your turn to walk away from this. Why couldn't you just let it go? I'm so sorry. Could you cover him for me? He deserves better. If I wasn't stubborn, I'd probably be gone already. I think this might take a bit more than a bandage, though. Dorian, even with those wounds. What can I say? I'm not one to fall so easily. I won't turn down my coat. It's rather cold on the floor. It figures. I had to wait until I was a blubbering mess before you spoke outright. Ah, I think it's finally over. After all this time. Somehow, I don't think it'll be that easy. No. But I think perhaps I've earned some respite, right? My dove, could you come here? I'm afraid I'm a little too worn out to stand. Closer. I need to tell you this. Thank you for sticking by. Even though at least I didn't deserve it. Through those doors. There's your freedom. All you need to do is walk from here. I won't stop you. Something tells me I couldn't either way. Just go. Unless you want to stay, my dove.